Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders with Marketing Huddle, and today we have with us Moran Pober, who is the founder of ABD Assets. Moran, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Mike. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So give us a little bit of background on your firm and what led you to the entrepreneurial journey yourself to found your company.
Yeah, so I've been involved in multiple businesses over the last 10 years or so. I started businesses from scratch, and it's funny, what led me to do what I do right now is one of my businesses back in the days became really successful, and I remember someone came and offered to buy my business, and I didn't sell it. And what happened afterwards is my business totally got destroyed. Many things happened that wasn't in my control. And what I learned years later from some of my mentors is that the best time to sell a business is now, no matter what. And that's what led me to this world of buying businesses, investing, and just understanding that I want to be owner of businesses. I don't want to manage businesses. And that's what we focus on with my business right now. We're looking to buy existing businesses, so usually businesses that are already existing for at least 3 to 5 years, businesses that are doing above 1 million a year in sales. And that's my focus at the moment. I just realized that that's what I want to do. That's what I'm passionate about. And that's what led me to find mentors and people who are doing those things.
You know, you said something interesting, two things actually that caught my attention. One is when someone approached you and you said no, then the thought crossed your mind later on, wow, I wonder if I should have taken that path. And of course, we can never go back in time, and hindsight is 20/20. We know all those things. But the main thing that you said is you were working with and talking with and learning from a mentor. So we could probably spend the next hour and a half talking about the value of mentors, but let's just summarize it by saying, in a business, it is always advisable to have someone that you rely on to get outside just advice or opinion. So my question is, now when you are looking to buy businesses, you mentioned 3 to 5 years in business, $1 million in revenues. Do you give us a picture of, number one, do you have a specific industry or vertical that you look in, or does it matter? And then number two, what would be a trigger for that business owner that might think, I wonder if it would benefit me to explore selling?
Yeah, good question. So basically, I mean, in the end of the day, at the moment, there's tons of baby boomers and people are looking to retire. So just by that, people are just, they don't know what to do with their businesses. I'll give you an example. We're negotiating a deal in the UK right now, and we're still negotiating the deal, but it looks like we're going to sign a deal probably the next week or two. The owner is willing to give me the business just by me paying him the cash in that business. Now, that's a profitable business that's doing above 1 million a year in sales, £1,000,000, and it's profitable. And they're making like almost 200,000 in profit each year. The reason that he's willing to do that is because basically just taxes. I mean, that he wants to retire. He don't have a son or anyone to basically give the business to. So what he's saying is, hey, let me basically sell the business to someone I trust, someone who's going to take care of the employees, the heritage, the brand that I built. And instead of paying around 40%, if he's going to take all that cash in dividends, there's, in the UK at least, what they call entrepreneurial relief, and which means that if he's going to sell the business, he only needs to pay 10%. So just by that fact, he's willing to give me the business just by me making sure that I'm going to take care of his employees, everything that he built, all of his clients. I mean, that's his baby in the end of the day, and it's really important to him. And just by me positioning myself the right way, I'm able to find such a deal.
Yeah, and I think that's super important because I would suspect that there is a lot of people in your industry that view the transaction like a transaction and don't care about the numbers. And we've seen in the movies or examples where people just come in and they chop it up and sell it off, make the profit, and the former owner looks back a minute later and goes, "What have I done?" So I love your approach of caring and being trustworthy. Can you think of or give some examples of transactions in the past where they've gone super well and you've taken care of the business, and what are some things that a new prospective seller would appreciate hearing?
Well, in the end of the day, and what you just said, I mean, that's so true, Mike. I mean, I heard horror stories about companies coming in and literally, while doing due diligence, destroying companies. I mean, I heard companies they're making offers to employees to come and work for them. They're stealing clients and literally destroying businesses before they even bought the business. And the seller, he can't do anything because he opened his books. And at the end of the day, it's all about just building rapport, right? I mean, business is just people. And that's why I really think it's so important to just be good with people and just be a good person in general, just be an honest person. And if people can sense that from you, it's going to make your life much easier and you're just going to feel good with yourself. In the end of the day, all the businesses that I worked with, I tried at least to do my best to keep everything the same and just help them grow. One of my first deals were actually a deal that I did the deal before I even knew too much about this world of acquisitions. I bought an app company that didn't work well. I saw an opportunity in the marketplace. I bought the code, the app, and everyone was involved. And all I did was to bring in my resources, my expertise, my knowledge. And what I did was basically bring in more developers, more designers, more marketers. And we took an app that basically the app was nowhere, and we got it to a point where the app became an app company that was ranking in the top 100. One of my apps was one of the top 100 apps in the App Store in more than 100 countries. So that's kind of like the main example I have. And I try to do that with every business I go to right now, to position myself as the safe pair of hands, as someone who really care about the employees. Because like I said, when I had a business, I know that I treated my business like my baby. It was really important to me. I mean, I built that from scratch. I worked nights, and I wanted someone who will take care of that business at least that it is. I hope that he's going to show me that he's going to take care of it at least as me. And the reason I didn't sell the business is because I didn't find that person. And I try to at least emphasize with the business owners that I'm talking to right now and just tell them, hey, I've been in your shoes. I know what you've been up to. And all I want is to help your business and hopefully help your goals as well.
Yeah, I think that's so key. I mean, it's just a good business practice anyway, but especially when you have such a personal asset, such as a business that typically a lot of these owners have built from scratch themselves, and so it is considered their baby. So I like that approach a whole lot, and I would suspect, without getting into the intricacies of structuring a deal, but am I correct in thinking that sometimes you would give an option where the owner would still have maybe a revenue stream coming in or have some advisory capacity so that they aren't totally cut out, or most of the time maybe some of those owners want to be just done, like the example you gave for the person looking to retire?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so personally, I'm really flexible, and it's actually one of the first sentences that I tell business owners that I talk to. I'm like, hey, I'm really open for you to retain some equity in the business, just because, like I said before, I mean, you've been in the business for many years. You know the business better than me, more than I could ever learn probably in the next 10 or 20 years sometimes. And I'm more than happy for you to retain equity, even if it's just minority. And many times, just by hearing that, the business owners, they really build trust with you because, and I really believe in that. That I mean, they know much more than me about the business, so I'm more than happy for them to retain equity. If not, I'm more than happy to keep them as consultants. But at least, I mean, and that's just something very traditional in deals. There's at least a transition period between 6 to 12 months. Basically, me working with that business owner and making sure that everything is working fine before he leaves completely.
Yeah, I think that's it's really easy to say, but it's really nice to hear that you do that. So I think that is so important. So when you do take these businesses, what is the typical strategy you implement? Because I'm certain that sometimes you are bringing in, like you said in the apps example, your team and you're running them to grow them. But what are some of the other options that, do you then have other buyers that are looking for some of the businesses that you bought?
Mm-hmm. In the end of the day, you mean what I do with the businesses after we actually have them?
Correct. So in other words, do you sometimes act as a broker where you will buy a business and then some other person is looking to buy a business and you will then facilitate that transaction?
Mm-hmm. So personally, that's not something that I do. I'm just not passionate about it. Once, because I couldn't make the deal was too big, I was like, hey, I told the business owner, I'll try to send that deal to my other colleagues and see maybe they want that. Mm-hmm. And then potentially, I guess I could earn something from that, but generally just not my focus. I rather take something and literally treat it as my baby. And I like to be involved in things that I'm part of. And yeah, I mean, business in the end of the day is just business. I believe that any business in any sector is just, you just gotta make sure that more money coming in than money going out. That's what I try to focus on. And for me, I just really like the people stuff in the business. I really like the interactions. I like to find someone who's better than me in managing. I just find out that I'm not a good manager. And I'm not good at doing menial, repeatable stuff. I found out that what I'm doing is perfect for people like me or very ADD, who just kind of like all over the place. At the same time, I try to still be very, very focused, but my focus is on doing deals. But the beauty is that because I'm looking at deals in pretty much any sector out there, it's very, very interesting. I'm getting to know many different businesses and how they work and different sectors and different procedures and systems and obviously different people. I mean, just by the fact that I sometimes have anywhere between 10 to 15 calls a day with different business owners, and just the passion that you get from those business owners, sometimes being owners for 5, 10, or sometimes I had a call this week with someone who's the owner of that business for 25 years. I mean, and it's funny, it was in an industry that I didn't know anything about, something in doing stuff in a laboratory. But the passion that you get from those people, I mean, they're doing it for years. Maybe they're not the best business owners, but they know what they're doing and they're so passionate about it. And that passion is just, it's addicting. You get that vibe just by talking to them, and I love that. I really love talking to people who are passionate about what they're doing, and I'm just addicted to that. Yeah,
I love that approach, and it makes me think of a question about the different sectors that you're mentioning, because I know that a lot of people in business will say, find a vertical or an industry that you can learn and just stay in that channel, stay in that lane, and then whatever it is, whether it's marketing or whatever. But in your world, what have you found that has led you to have such broad reach to various industries, as opposed to finding a business you bought in whichever sector and thinking, this is a really good sector. I understand it. I love it. Love the passion. I'm going to go find other people that are looking to sell their business in that same sector. What has made you feel available and free to just dip into any sector that's out there?
Yeah, so, and it's a really, really good question. I think that the main thing here, at least for me personally, is first of all, for me personally, it's much more important who I work with versus what I work on. Obviously, I'd like everything to be legal and moral and all that stuff, but it's really important to me who I work with. I just like to work with people who I'm having fun working with. And secondly, in the end of the day, it's really a lifestyle decision as well. And don't get me wrong, what you were saying about focusing on one industry and just be the expert in that sector, I think it's probably the better decision for me if I just care about money and growing as fast as I can and maybe becoming a public company. But at least personally, at the moment, I just care more about my lifestyle and just the people I work with and hang out with. And in the end of the day, yes, maybe, I mean, I still look, so let's say if you have a business, for example, in a specific sector, obviously it will be smarter to go and look and build deal flow in that specific sector. But personally, I'm just, in the end of the day, it really comes down to also the deal flow I'm getting and that deal flow coming from all different sources. And I'm just happy to look at any deal at the moment. Maybe in 2-3 years from now, I'll tell you, hey, I changed that. But for now, I'm just enjoying the process. I'm enjoying the journey, and it's just really fulfilling to be involved in all that.
Well, a couple times through this conversation, you've mentioned things that have gone completely against what you would suspect an investor in a business would say, such as, I care about my people and I care about, pleasing them and honoring them and I don't care about the money, and I could make a lot more if I did it this way. So I really love your approach. And so, Moran, I would like to just wrap up with this question. What is the best way that people can learn more about your business or reach out and connect with you if they would like to explore potentially working with you?
Yeah, so many times in the past, I know people emailed me and really wanted to get into this world of buying businesses, investing, and they just didn't know how to even start. So what I suggested is I decided to work with few people and basically show them how I do deals and give them equity just by helping me find deals. And just by that, they could literally watch me and get equity in the process and learn everything. So if anyone out there is looking to get into this world and want to buy businesses, or even if you potentially have a business to sell, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. And just feel free to email me personally. It's my personal email is Moran. It's MORAN at abdassets.com. That's my company.
Excellent. Well, we'll make sure we put your website link in the show notes as well. And I want to thank you very much for taking the time to come on the show. It's been a pleasure getting to know you.
No worries. I had a really great time. Thank you very much for having me.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneursradio.com.